So first, a short disclaimer, this is not a tutorial. I usually go in and edit these type of videos that are tutorial oriented, but this is just me working and trying to figure things out and analyze and also make sure that I have hands-on experience with some of these things that I'm looking into. So that's the reason the video may be faster at some point and it'll go back to normal mode. But this is mainly for me to be able to share my thoughts on what I think about Sparc3D. So I think it's going to be a complete game changer for the industry. I have been saying this for a while and try to bring some awareness to my friends while I was studying different MMLs and just this technology in general, that this is eventually gonna happen. And I think this is the moment where Sparc3D kind of did something that no other apps or developers have been able to. So this is pretty serious. Instant mesh creation. So think of it as like photogrammetry, but now you can just, upload one image, and all these images that you, or the 3D meshes that you see in my scene are created only using one view. And that's the reason I think it's impressive compared to some of the competing tools out there. And it's also open source and it's community driven. So this has a tremendous amount of potential to dramatically speed up asset production, especially in like independent game development. You could automate this. Traditionally, it would take time, but a 3D artist could still generate these and then maybe focus on other tools that would help with maybe auto topology, UVs. There's still a lot of work to be done. This is never going to be a one-click solution, but there's always going to be a creative and artist and art director behind it. But again, it is going to make things much faster. While I think it's like early days for this tech, again, like I said, we're seeing this for the very first time at this level with Sparc3D, and I don't think it's ready to completely replace traditional modeling and retopology or texturing workflow, but the potential is huge. And as this technology matures, I think it could be possible to handle like a much more advanced mesh processing automatically, including advanced like retopology. Obviously, there is things already out there, but very smart decimation and potentially everything is just AI procedural generations and optimized. So that's a big deal. I mean, there's so many stages, especially when I was trying to make my own games and work for, various companies. Optimization was the key because I would create things sometimes that maybe required a higher texture resolution. So that is really challenging when you have so many meshes inside a game with current game production. So Sparc3D could also like find applications far beyond indie games. I think like in 3D printing, customers could upload like their photos or scans, and then an application like Sparc3D could quickly generate printable meshes. And if it also eventually in the near future does like texturing, obviously, you know where I'm going with that. So this would let like businesses create personalized on-demand products, I think, like custom figurines or a lot of other things that you could possibly make with it. So combined with like this emerging AI-driven kind of UV and texturing tools, I personally tested a bunch, which can automatically generate like high-quality stuff. And I know NVIDIA is working on neural textures, like materials. So Sparc3D, I mean, this application's future has a lot of potential. And for example, in film production, or like stop motion animation or any kind of previs, Sparc3D again could speed up like the pipeline rapidly and just like creating props or set pieces in 3D could be instantly like visualized on set, refined, or fabricated. And this could save massive amount of time, especially when directors or production designers want to quickly test different ideas or like change concepts with like physical prototypes. So this could be utilized. You could literally have set pieces individually, like a door, a wall, and you could just like build that prototype, which I've seen on projects that I worked in VFX. They would actually have scenic painters before they even start painting these sets. They would have like these miniature models built from very, very simple materials. So this could be utilized, I think. And like on location or like remote environments, like if you're trying to get something, you could now do it with a photo from that place, or someone could take a photo and send it to you. And since I've been testing so much, I can see that high resolution or a certain type of image gives you a better outcome. So VFX or virtual production, they could like use basically all these different sets, and you can even create characters, just stand-ins, right? So for educational use, I also think that the Sparc3D could empower a lot of students or hobbyists by just like lowering this tech sort of barrier to entry, and let them experiment with like 3D asset creation without like like the deep knowledge of like traditional modeling tools, right? So this could be a totally different sort of pipeline. And once like tools like Sparc3D advance and further to like include all like the ideal like fully automated UV texturing or retopology, obviously, or integrate like AI driven like detail enhancement, we could definitely see an industry shift where asset creation just becomes as simple as like taking photos and then working with these tools. A different kind of creative approach, but I definitely see the industry go towards that area. Things are changing constantly. My assumption or my guess was that it would have taken a year, and it's been less than that now. We're already seeing Sparc3D create some amazing assets. So I hope you find this video interesting. I actually made 3-part videos. You guys can watch the other ones, but it's not very hard. You can go to Hugging Face, you can upload your image, and you just have to get in line because there's a lot of people using it. And then you can kind of test it yourself. And I especially think this is, or could be, very useful for very experienced like ZBrush artists that are sculptors, instead of just looking at the 2D image. Sometimes where you don't have other views, maybe, you could definitely utilize this to put it next to you, or even, go over it and just utilize the shape to create your model or different elements. And you can very, very quickly do that, which is really where we spend the most amount of time. And I think this is definitely a very interesting time we all live in. And it never hurts to experiment with these tools and try them. So I encourage you to see it for yourself and make your own judgment. And thanks for watching this video.